I'll call the meeting to order. Welcome to the August 15th Town of Lee Select Board meeting. First item on the agenda, approval of the minutes from the August 1st session.
Mr. Chairman, I'd make a motion that we approve the August 1st, 2023 Select Board meeting minutes.
Second.
Any further discussion? All those in favor?
Aye.
Second item is public comment. Anybody from the public would like to speak? Kathy?
Thank you. Kathy Hall from the Lee Youth Commission. Plans are moving forward for activities and skateboard competitions at the Lee Athletic Field on Saturday, September 16th, a Founders Weekend, from 11 a.m. to 2 p.m. There will also be food provided for a small fee by the Boy Scouts and ice cream from the Copsicle truck. Thank you.
Oh, okay, thank you. Anybody else for public comment? Janice?
Hi. I just like to say I attended that Rest of the River meeting today. We need to get rid of Berkshire Regional Planning Board. They're all corrupt. I mean, even Josh Bloom found emails, hurting our case in court. They're out of control, and they treat Bob and Josh like dirt. I think they want more money to pay that attorney. And as you know, I blame this on myself too, because if this started years ago and I wasn't paying attention, I would have spoke up and said, we don't have one attorney to represent 5 towns. You can't even have a house closing without 2 attorneys. And I just think they're all corrupt. They're all thinking about the money down the road. And no amount of money is worth having a dump in our town and hurting more people. That's all I have to say, but I want to say, Bob and Josh, I appreciate everything you do. I appreciate what you guys do. But I'm very angry, very angry. And I hope, I'm just very angry. I don't sleep at night. All I do is think about what I can do next. It's not good for my health. My brother's really sick. It's not good for anybody's health. The 2 people that are working on it, like constantly, like Bob and Tim and Ann and, our group, it's not right. People got to stop and think. Not you guys. They got to stop and think. You don't do something to other people that you don't want done to you. And I hope karma bites their butt, because they're going to get it in the long run. Thank you.
Thank you, Janice. Ann?
Hi, Ann Langless, Union Street. So I just basically want to echo what Janice had to say about the meeting that we attended this morning through Zoom with Berkshire Regional Planning Commission. If any of you have an opportunity to watch it, you were there, Bob, you will very clearly see that there were several interruptions made by the chair, Tom Matusko, throughout anyone who spoke opposing to the dump, including both Bob and Josh, and they were interrupted so many different times. But yet when their members that they approve of, who agree with them on the stand of the dump, they were speaking, they were not interrupted. And there just seems to be, to me, perhaps a way that we can either contact the Attorney General, or if they have a boss, and perhaps express our really big concern as far as ethics are concerned in how they speak to people, how the meetings are run. At times you'll hear one of the gentlemen, I think it was Stephen Schatz was his name, they're not supposed to, like here, during this particular time of public comment, it's not really a question and answer situation, which Tom had, put forth at the beginning after I'd asked him a couple questions. And then that was kind of like the tone set for it. But yet, when the meeting went further on, he allowed other members of the Rest of River Committee to start answering questions. And it wasted our little bit of time of 2 minutes to be able to have a comment or get our questions asked. And I'm going to further pursue some of the questions that I brought up in the comments I made, and I'm going to send in an email, which I believe they have 2 weeks or 14 or 18 days or whatever it is to respond with answers. It's just really the situation of having the town of Lee and Stockbridge discussing that we want to do something together for our services, for our emergency services on 102. And the level of disrespect, just remove the public comment period, and the level of disrespect that's given to our representatives that are sitting at the table, it's just beyond me that it's even by their own chair. So I really think that we need to take a hard look at the behavior of Berkshire Regional Planning Commission, the fact that they are attempting to, I think it is in December, that they are supposed to be disbanding the Reston River Committee. They've reached their goal. They have thrown our town of Lee under the bus. We got the rotten egg, and there's no further reason for them to continue other than pure, I don't know, punishment? I'm not really sure what their goal is. They claim that they want to continue this Reston River Committee to be overseers, but we as a group collectively in Lee, including the 3 select boards sitting there, and I knew Chris Britton, and many of the Lee residents, we ourselves are ready to oversee what's going to be happening in our town. And we don't need 4 other towns overlooking our shoulders and telling us what to do. If the Reston River Committee were being run as a true collective and as 5 towns working together in a group unison position, then I would feel differently. I think as many residents would agree. But it doesn't happen that way. So for them to be voting to continue the Reston River Committee, they're looking at doing an additional 3-year contract because that's what the original agreement was. And when I had asked, my first question was asking Tom, who was it that gave him the directive? And after he answered that it was just in the agreement itself, I further asked, were you instructed by either the Power Group or who represents Power? And that, I can't think of the S name that comes after the Power Group, if anybody here knows it.
Seeger Weiss.
Seeger Weiss. And then he got very uncomfortable, and that's when he decided to tell me that they will not be answering questions today. So I'm going to guess it's a sore subject. I'm sure he's getting some directive from somewhere. It's not just willy-nilly that Berkshire Regional Planning Commission is all on their own going to say, gee, I think we should continue for 3 years. They do not have the educational background in the PCVs. Nobody there has any certifications within the group. They just don't have that kind of knowledge to be overseers for our town. And I would really like to see our select board reach out, even though Bob is already sitting on it as a select board member. I think that maybe we need to reach out a little bit more and be a little more aggressive in addressing the fact that we are not happy with them continuing. I'm hopeful that you guys feel the same way. Continuing to make decisions for the town that they do not live in. Their families do not live here. They do not reside here. And I just think it needs to end. And we need to step up in our community, like you guys have been, like we have been, and continue doing our own fight against GE doing this PCB dump in our town. Thank you.
Thank you. I think your points are all taken. Yeah, I'll just say that I'm in agreement with what's been said thus far, and everything that you said is being taken into consideration by this board. Okay. Anything else from public comments? Moving on, we have 3A, 2 one-day entertainment license applications, a weekday and a Sunday, for Founder's Day weekend from the Lee Chamber of Commerce.
We have a representative here.
Hello, I just wanted to introduce myself as the new Executive Director of the Lee
Nice.
Chamber of Commerce.
Good.
I know.
Congratulations.
So I'm a little late in getting the permit application in, just since I just started, a couple weeks ago, but please let me know if there's anything else I need to do to, ensure that Founder's Day weekend goes off as smoothly and as wonderful as it has in the past.
Thank you.
Thanks.
I'll entertain a motion.
Well, I have a question before we do that. Well, actually, we can make the motion. If you want to make the motion.
I'll make a motion that we approve the one-day entertainment licenses for the Chamber of Commerce.
Sure, it's actually ends up in 3 days.
3 days, yeah. There's 2 of them, two
Yeah.
one day.
Right.
Yeah.
I would second it, but I just have a question. On Sunday, is there any thoughts on having any other performers or entertainment or anything?
At this point,
Anybody come to you?
There haven't yet. Sunday, again, as always, is kind of a quieter day for Founder's Weekend. And we have the duck race, the Lions Club are doing the duck race again. And we have a few vendors that have signed up to participate on Sunday, but there isn't, at this point, a lot going on Sunday. We're hoping, we would, entertain getting more. Saturday afternoon in the past had been pretty quiet after the parade.
Yeah.
But now this year you approved the food truck rodeo that will take place down at the town gazebo. So we're hoping that Sunday will be a little bit more, town focused, and Saturday will be, and then Sunday, hopefully, we can get some things for Sunday.
Well, we do have another meeting before this on September 5th, so if something comes up. The only thing I was thinking of was thinking about the ability to have some music to pre-approve it in case you could line somebody up for Sunday.
Okay,
But you can always come back on the 5th if somebody comes forward. How's that?
terrific, that sounds good, yeah,
Or if you
no.
want to think about that and come back on the 5th, and maybe that will give you some last-minute flexibility.
Perfect, yeah.
If you want to think ahead of that way.
All right. We have another meeting tomorrow, so we'll see what the committee has. Hopefully, some people have some more ideas.
Okay, super, thanks.
Thank you.
So we have a motion and a second. Is there any further discussion? If none, all those in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Aye. 3B, request to waive the annual inspection fee for St. Mary's Church.
Mr. Chairman, I'd make the motion to waive the annual inspection fee for St. Mary's Church.
I'll second that.
Is there any further discussion? Being none, all those in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Aye. We have a 3C, a temporary sign permit and fee waiver for Greener Gateway. And this is for a temporary sign permit to place 3 to 4 18 by 24 lawn signs at varying locations for 2 to 4 weeks, it looks like. Another 6 or 7 signs to place to move around at private residences. That looks about it.
Mr. Chair, I'd make a motion that we approve the temporary sign permit for the Greener Gateway Committee and waive the fee.
Sure, I'll second that.
Is there any further discussion? Hearing none, all those in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Aye. Okay, this 3D, to adopt and sign the cannabis social equity policies. It's a state requirement, and I'm going to abstain from this.
Okay. Then, Mr. Chairman, I'll take over for this one item,
Yeah.
and I think that for public to understand what's going on, I'll just read it. It's not very long. It's something that we're required to do by the Commonwealth of Massachusetts, is my understanding.
Yeah, and this is kind of, we're considering this sort of an initial policy. There's a lot of changes going on in the CCC, and they are still working on more regulations that haven't been released yet. So this is kind of a boilerplate interim policy until we get more direction, which there's a few bills that are still pending, so.
So this is what this is that we're supposed to sign. It says on August 11th, 2022, Governor Charlie Baker signed Senate 3096, an act relative to equity in the cannabis industry, into law. The new law requires host municipalities to establish initial policies to promote equity in the cannabis industry. The Massachusetts Cannabis Control Committee encourages cities and towns in Massachusetts to consider incentives for increased participation by social equity applicants. The town of Lee seeks to promote social equity for applicants seeking to establish businesses in Lee through the following policies. Number 1, to encourage greater participation by social equity applicants when a host community agreement, HCA, becomes available for new business, there will be an exclusive period of 6 months limiting the availability of the HCA to qualifying social equity and economic empowerment applicants. If you want to figure out what that means, all of that. So, number 2, Lee will offer additional resources for outreach to potential social equity applicants by promoting available HCA's on the town's website. Number 3, Lee will provide permit application assistance for social equity and economic empowerment applicants applying for cannabis permits. The Selectboard webpage will include additional online resources for applicants. Number 4, Lee will continue to work with establishments to create mutually agreed upon HCA's that are fair and equitable to all parties. Number 5, when, if possible, Lee will assist in reducing financial barriers to expedite the permitting for social equity and economic empowerment applicants. And that is what we're being asked to sign today. Basically told that we're going to sign this today. Anyway, do I have a motion?
I would make a motion that we adopt and sign the cannabis social equity policy.
Okay, I will second that. And any other comments? Seeing none, all those in favor?
Aye.
I'll turn it back over to you, Mr. Chairman.
Thank you, Gordon. 3E, we're here to sign a meeting facilitator complaint letter to the Rest of the River Committee. How do you gentlemen feel about me reading that?
I think it should be done.
This is a letter from the Lee Select Board to the Rest of the River Municipal Committee, for the record. Dear Rest of the River Committee members, as you know, an open meeting law complaint was upheld by the Massachusetts Attorney General's office stating that the March 27, 2023 Rest of the River meeting agenda did not properly warn the public of the agenda item approval of expenditure of funds. At the time of this complaint, the Attorney General had no evidence of intent to violate the open meeting law. Since that time, the town of Lee has received information that could imply the potential for intent. This includes an email by Chairperson Machusko to Attorney Pawa stating, quote, "If you want to discuss strategy with the committee, it might be better to do so closer to the May 4th date in case our Lee committee member, opponent, gives those discussion comments to HRI's attorney. Alternatively, and having watched way too much TV, you could provide misleading information to throw their attorneys off track." The Lee Select Board was very concerned to find that the committee's impartial, in quotes, facilitator would attempt to deceive Lee officials and other members of the court. We feel these comments also indicate the possibility of intention to violate the open meeting law. Under the open meeting law, the public body must review the complaint, take remedial action if appropriate, and send a response to the complainant and to the Attorney General. General Law C-30A, 23B, 940 CMR 29055. A complainant who is unsatisfied with the public body's resolution of his or her open meeting law complaint may file the complaint with the Attorney General and request review of the complaint. These issues were brought before the Berkshire Regional Planning Commission Executive Committee at their July 20th, 2023 meeting, where they stated that the issue was a matter for the Rest of the River Committee. We are now formally requesting that the Rest of the River Committee take the following action at a meeting held prior to September 29th, 2023 to resolve this complaint. Motion that the Rest of the River Committee demands that Berkshire Regional Planning and its employees of Berkshire Regional Planning act as an impartial facilitator amongst the 5 towns, and the Berkshire Regional Planning shall in no manner provide any opinions, statements, documents, or communication in any form, verbal or written, that shall convey a bias, perceived or otherwise, toward any aspect of the rest of the river project. Furthermore, that Berkshire Regional Planning appoint a new staff member to oversee and chair the rest of the river committee. If the rest of the river committee fails to resolve this matter, the town of Lee is prepared to bring the matter back to the Attorney General for further review as prescribed.
Mr. Chairman, I'd make a motion that we sign off on this and send it off post haste.
Second.
Any further discussion?
Can we clap?
All those in favor?
Is there anything we can do about?
Well,
This is just about signing this letter.
this is, yeah,
This
just,
is about signing this letter.
so I vote
So
yes.
we have a second, first, a motion and a second. All those in favor?
Aye.
Aye. Good.
Thank you. That's it.
I did want to ask you something, a question about that.
You need to come up
Just
to
come
the
up to
mic
the mic.
anyway.
Since you
Who are you?
Gas
We know. but yeah.
Gus Reese here, West Park Street. I'm sure other people have other things planned, but my question is, since you discovered this kind of bias activity going on, is there any way we can pull into this situation the previous open meeting violation, I would call it, overstepping or whatever, when they actually made the decision to sign the consent decree? Wouldn't this show some kind of intent going along, right along? I'm just, it's something to bring up, and if there was some kind of, something that could be put into the letter that said that maybe you are looking into the previous actions of the committee, or the rest of the river committee, on open meeting violations, if that could be put in there somehow to keep a window open, I don't know, I just,
Well,
I
go ahead,
I might suggest that we get this sent off immediately, and then we could always do a follow-up on that if we want, but I
You
think we
can-
need to get this off.
okay,
Yeah.
you can add to it.
timing-wise. Yeah, well, we can
That'll be
do a
sort of a
separate
different,
letter.
yeah.
Yeah, we're opening the
Yeah.
door.
Right,
Yeah.
to other issues.
Okay, so you think that, I just was hoping they could put something in there, or
Well-
PS or something, I don't know.
There's no reason we couldn't send another, because then we would have to come back to another meeting
Okay.
to sign it, but a separate one could be
Okay,
done more
I
efficiently.
didn't know you were gonna do this tonight, and I.
This is, everything is fluid at this
Yeah,
point, and
okay.
so,
right,
but
thank
we're moving forward on this issue.
Okay, thank you for everything you guys are doing.
Janice?
I think it's a great letter. Thank you for doing that. My question is, we went to that court case in Boston, what can we do about Powwow that lied in court? He lied in front of the judge. Do we have any recourse on that? Unless I hire a lawyer myself.
Well, I don't have the answer for you tonight
Okay.
on that, but I assure you that while other select boards may not be on top of this select board is.
I know you guys are, you're doing a wonderful job.
And there are a lot of balls in the air, let me put it that way, and there's a lot being discussed, and we are reviewing, and we're reviewing all our options, and certainly we'll act on what we feel we can.
Okay, so, thank you.
Is that fair
Not
enough?
that this hasn't
Yeah.
already been thought of.
Okay,
Yeah.
I wanted to stand up that day and yell, but I knew I couldn't.
No.
I was good, but I'm not good anymore. I'm turning 63 tomorrow, and I don't care what they say anymore.
All right, now we have any topic the chairman could not reasonably anticipate. We have a couple of items. And as long as we're on the subject, somewhat on the subject, I'll start with my letter. I've submitted a letter to my colleagues here on the Select Board. I was appointed a few weeks ago as the alternate delegate to Berkshire Regional Planning. I attended one meeting in which what we just discussed previously was brought forward. I found the response to be inadequate and opaque, and they made light of it. They said that what Mr. Machusko was doing was merely being funny, a joke, and they simply wouldn't address it. So I wrote to the Select Board, to my colleagues here. I simply said, I hereby tender my resignation as the alternate delegate to the Berkshire Regional Planning Commission effective immediately. Recent events have made it apparent to me that my continued involvement would simply be an exercise in futility. And so Gordon and Sean, they seem to require a select board member. I don't know if either of you wants to step up, but I won't, and I think I would applaud us not having a select board member, even as a form of protest, unless there were some adverse effect in that.
The primary member is from the planning board.
Yeah, yes.
So this is just
This is just as an alternate.
So let's chew on it for a week. We don't
Okay.
need to do anything tonight, and I won't even accept your resignation then. No. Yeah, let's go at it. But yes, actually, zoom in on that, yeah. No, I mean, I know how strongly you feel about it, so I would make a motion to accept your resignation with regret.
I'll second.
Yeah, and,
Any further discussion?
no.
All those in favor?
Aye.
However, I
Okay.
would say, I think we should just wait and mull this over.
Yeah.
Okay,
Since it's an alternate position anyway.
yes, okay.
Thank you for your time going up there.
Oh, it was fun.
I'm sure it was.
Okay, and then we have I guess it's an application for a one-day alcoholic beverage license from the class of 1963. I wonder who that is. The class of 1963 reunion.
So where is this being held at the high school?
300
Cafeteria.
Graylock Street, so it'd be the high
Yep,
school
Middle and high
cafeteria.
school cafeteria.
I always wanted to drink in the cafeteria, but they never.
I thought you did, I thought you said you did. No, none of us did, I'm sure. I would make a motion to approve the application for a special one-day alcohol and beverage license. And this is for, I'm looking for the day, September 16th, 2023, from 5:30 until 9 o'clock at the Lee Middle and High School cafeteria.
Second.
Any further discussion? All those in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Great, have fun.
All right. Chris, you have an update for us?
Yeah, a couple, oh, sorry.
You said there's still an,
Yeah, there's one day alcohol and one day.
it's after the tip certification.
Thanks, everybody.
Yeah, thank you.
Do I have that? Oh, it's under here, it's under
Yeah,
the
it's
same.
under the tips
Oh,
one.
okay, right, okay.
Mr. Chair, I'd make a motion that we approve the one-day entertainment license for the class reunion 1963.
Same date, I'll second
Same
that.
date, yeah.
Yep,
Any further discussion? All those in favor?
aye.
Aye.
And do we have to do anything with this tips?
That's
Just
for
to
the-
show that.
Just to show that they have it, okay, very good, okay. So Chris, you have an update from the EPA?
Yes, they did share that they are starting work on the fencing around the UDF area, and they anticipate initial mobilization of those activities during, starting the week of August 7th, which again is mostly the fencing. This came in between the meetings, so that's why it's a little dated, but Woods Pond sediment sampling will begin the week of August 14th. The work is estimated to occur over 3 weeks, and GE is evaluating working through the weekends. Floodplain soil sampling will begin following completion of sediment sampling of activities, and the follow-up bathymetric survey work will occur later in the fall. And they also released on the EPA website a comment period for the UDF plans, and to make it easier, we'll have that linked online as well. That just came out. So, and there's a comment period on that where you can submit to an email address.
That'll
at
be on the
EPA.
town website?
So, yeah, it's on EPA now. We're gonna link it on the
Okay.
news section. And it should be up there in the next day or two.
Great.
If you don't, it's easier to find than on EPA, so.
Okay.
I will say it's about 4,000 pages, so there's a lot to look at.
Good,
but-
I'll wait for the movie.
I think you're in the movie, right?
Yes, I guess. Anything else, gentlemen?
Not for me,
I don't
so.
have
All
anything.
right, so we're ready to adjourn. The next regular meeting is on September 5th, 2023. I'll entertain a motion to adjourn.
I would would make a motion to adjourn this meeting.
Second.
All those in favor?
Aye.
Aye.